Hello guys, Salty Gamer here, and today I'll be reviewing C, The Money of Soul and Possibility Control. I watched this back in 2012 or 2013. It was so confusing and boring to the point where I dropped it. I gave it a second chance many years later, and I still found confusing and boring to watch. It wasn't even a good kind of confusion like the anime Fooly Cooly was. In this anime, the main character Kimimaru doesn't have much money and is struggling to get by. A stranger named Masakaki visits his apartment one day and invites him to join the Eastern Financial District, where he'll be given a lot of money and be able to use this money to make even more. You would have to put your future up for collateral though. He is hesitant at first, but eventually agrees to take part in this opportunity. Once a week must battle someone in the Eastern Financial District. This battle is called a deal. If a person loses a deal, something bad will happen to them in real life. Since there is so much focus on these deals, then obviously I would want these deals to be easy to understand and enjoyable to watch. It was just so confusing, and it seemed to have no structure to it. Basically, people battle by using things like stocks, bonds, and other financial assets as weapons. If you're a finance major, or know much about financial assets, then you probably know much more about this than me. But I was just so confused at times on knowing which financial asset is very powerful or amazing to use. To me, the characters just shout random things, and the anime takes damage. The battle seemed so weird. One character would shout, "I use this financial asset," and then the other person would shout, "Well, I will use this financial asset." It's like a card game with no structure or rules to it. If something bad happens to them in real life they lose, then why not go all out in battle? Why take the risk of something bad happening? I just didn't find the deals enjoyable to watch at all. It was just people randomly shouting names of financial assets. In terms of the plot, it was deciding on how to use the money to save Japan. Many people had different goals and their own ideas on how to save Japan. It was interesting seeing them debate each other and fight for their ideals. I liked that it was morally gray. There was an obvious villain. The viewers had to decide for themselves who was right and who was wrong. I found the plot more interesting to watch than the deals themselves. And I know what some people are going to say. This anime is more about how people will use the money than the deals themselves. It's a way of excusing the poor deals, and I can't agree with that. The deals were horrific. One major deal was completely skipped over. Like the main character was about to lose the deal, and then it cuts to him suddenly winning it. No excuse for that. These deals take a large portion of screen time. They were confusing, characters just randomly shouted financial assets, one major deal was rushed, the rules seemed vague, like, why didn't the characters just shout the best financial asset transaction from the start? Even with interesting ideals that the characters had, it does not make up for confusing deals that have no structure. Maybe not the best example, but it's like a card game where one person says, "I have this trap card," and the other person says, "Well, I have this trap card." And then the other person goes back, "Well, I have this trap card." It's not a card game, but it feels like people just shouting out random things to counter each other's moves. The main character Kimimaru is a generic nice guy. He was so boring to watch. He was so indecisive as well as a character. He had people tell him what to do. Soichiro was a cool character that knew what he wanted to accomplish and went for it. Even if you argue that his decisions weren't the best, he at least had conviction and confidence to stick by his ideals. Mashi was a cool character. I liked how she always stuck by Kimimaru's side and believed in his decisions. It was also amusing that even though she's not human, she acted like one. Masakaki was a creepy character that I found amusing to watch. I liked how he convinced people to risk their future for this game, and he seemed to enjoy the chaos. The opening and ending song for this anime series were average. The music in this anime series didn't really make me excited for the deals. The animation style and animation were okay. I don't recommend watching this anime series. It just felt like a waste of time watching it. Not once was I really enjoying this anime series. The deals seemed poorly structured and confusing. I give this anime a 5 out of 10. So that's all we'll talk about for today. Thank you for watching the video. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and please comment if you found anything interesting in the video.